Where is Disney World? Well, I hear that question quite often, and I hear lots of answers. I hear people say it's in Orlando. I hear people say it's close to Kissimmee. Several friends say they've got villas in Davenport and others in Claremont. If I look at the map, you'll see that Orlando is up here, Kissimmee is here, Davenport is down here, and Claremont is way up here. So how do you explain this confusion? Well, in fact, what happened was that back in the 1950s, when Disney was contemplating this project, he wanted a place where he was free to build his parks the way he wanted without worrying about zoning and existing buildings. So he ordered his people to find a place that was close to the I-4, so he had access to it, but away from everything else. So the place that he ended up is 30,000 acres, approximately 20 miles from Orlando. It's about 15 miles from Kissimmee, about 10 miles from Davenport, and it's away from Claremont. But you'll see in the future why these names come up. It's important that you know where it is, because ultimately you're going to be looking for somewhere to stay which is accessible to Disney. You could stay on the property, but if you stay off the property, it probably costs you half as much, and you'll likely get much better accommodation, particularly if you choose a villa or a rental house rather than staying in a hotel. So let me explain the situation. If you want to rent a villa or a house in Florida, you can rent it for 9 months or more anywhere in Florida, but it has to have a special designation, a short-term rental designation or zoning, in order to stay for less than 9 months. And since most people are staying for 1, 2 or 3 weeks, then it's necessary to find properties with this short-term designation. Now, this is where the county maps come in. On this map, I've superimposed the counties on the plan. And you can see here, this is Orange County here, which Orlando's located in. This is Osceola County here, with Kissimmee in it. This is Polk County with Davenport in it. And this is Lake County with Claremont in it. This is where the confusion comes, and just to give you a round-out figure, villas in Claremont will likely be located in this sort of general area. In Davenport, they will be basically around that area. Kissimmee will likely be around here, but just a few in around Windsor Hills and Indian Ridge, also in Reunion. Orange County passed a bylaw which said there's to be no short-term rentals in Orange County, except of course in hotels or motels or properties which are pseudo-hotels, such as condominium complexes with short-term rental arrangements. So if you're looking for a place to rent, you have to be in Osceola, Lake, or Polk County. It's the first restriction. The second thing that occurred is that the people at Disney decided to implement Disney's perception of the perfect town, and they created the township of Celebration just down here. If I draw the line across, it just follows this line across here, and everything south of that is Celebration. And Celebration also zoned no short-term rental. So there can be no short-term rentals down here, no short-term rentals around here. So you have to look in this area here. The next thing that happened is that they said that property that was close to Disney should be high density. So along Ira Bronson Road, it's commercial or high density. So there's hotels, there's motels. Westgate here, just outside the park, is townhouses. It's a higher density of things. It isn't until you get down to Windsor Hills and Indian Ridge that you get some single family housing. Just to give you some idea, the distance between exit 58 and 67 is 9 miles. Now let me give you some idea of the infrastructure around Disney World. The principal road through Disney World runs north-south, and that's World Drive from intersection 62 on the highway right up through Magic Kingdom up here, and Epcot's over here, Hollywood Studios here, Animal Kingdom over here, and Wide World of Sports over here. Crossing that is the Ira Bronson Memorial Highway, or 192, most people refer to it as, and south of 192 is Celebration. Coming off World Drive, you've got exits onto 192 and to I-4. On the east-west roads, you've got an exit through the Osceola Parkway. On the west side, there's really no exit at the moment, although they're projecting a western gate. There's a road leading across to it, but the connection between it and the general road infrastructure is interfered with by this north-south road, the 429. On the east side, the principal exit is onto 535 up here, although you can get on 538, which brings you back onto 535. So essentially everything is coming out either onto Isla Bronson, onto 192, onto 4 here, or onto 4 up here, or across in towards Kissimmee on 535. 192 is a very commercial road. There's motels, hotels, restaurants all along here, and there are multiple traffic signals, so that at the busy time of the season it can take you a good 35-45 minutes to get from Highway 27 here into the intersection of World Drive. Coming from the south, people coming on at Champions Gate exit here can come straight up the highway and onto World Drive, and they whip in about 5 or 6 minutes from here. As a consequence of the infrastructure and the zoning, you have 3 clusters of properties for rent. You have a lot of rental developments along both sides of Highway 27, which runs north-south on the west side of the development. That's accessed via 192, the Isla Bronson Highway, to the north, or to the south from Highway 4 at exit 55. Then you have the Davenport area, or the Champions Gate area, which is accessed from the Champions Gate exit, which is 58, and that's to the south here. Then you have the Kissimmee properties, which are basically located over here, and which you get to by going along the 192, which is a bit of a stop and start bit, or from 535 coming down to it here. Traffic conditions vary from time to time, but generally it takes approximately 10 minutes to get from the Champions Gate exit into Disney, or vice versa. If you come off at 27, it's about another 4 minutes down the highway, but this intersection frequently has substantial traffic jams on it. I've waited 15 minutes there on a fairly regular basis just to get off Highway 4. If you come in on 192 from 27, you can reckon on 25 minutes from the highway into the park. If you come in from Kissimmee, this is quite variable. Generally 15 minutes will get you in along one of the highways, because you have the opportunity of branching in at 536 or going up 535 there. So there's quite a few choices there. So you can reckon about 15 minutes to get to this general area. So if you're considering where you want to stay, then your first choice should be this area that's accessed from the Champions Gate exit. The second would be the Kissimmee one, and the third would be Highway 27.